This is a look at the bigger picture of all our spending for the year. This is our year in review. Hi, I'm Bo.
I'm Win.
And we are trying to get ourselves out of $68,000 of debt and save for a house.
So far, so good, but there's a lot of journey ahead.
Yes, and we've already come really far. So we're not going to go through all the numbers right now, but if you would like to pause to take a look at everything, feel free to. What is most important to us, this is a slightly different view than what our budget normally shows because this is just our cash flow. So we do have how much is being saved at the bottom and savings spent at the bottom, but the biggest variables for us are our cash flow. So the things that happen every month, as far as what's coming in and out of our accounts. The things that are paid every year or every once in a while, we're not so worried about looking at those. So that is why the focus is just on the cash flow categories right now. Now, an exception, sort of, is in February, a lot of this savings spent is actually debt payments. It's just, it didn't come out of the cash flow. It came out of my emergency fund. So that is not going to be under his debt, but that is money that I paid towards Wynn's debt. But yeah, I really want to focus on what the annual, what the total for the year is, and what that means the average is. Now, even though some of these things didn't happen every month, I still averaged it throughout 12 months just to keep things even, I suppose, and not warp any of the numbers. So let's just go straight down the line. So altogether, our net income was $70,944 together. That comes out to an average of $5,912 a month. That's not bad. I'm okay with that. And then other income was $5,200. I don't think that it's gonna be that way every year, like not even close. But the average of that is $433 a month. And then for savings used, we took $29,051 out of savings. The average for that is $2,420 a month. And that is not going to be, it's not going to be that way next year because, again, this $14,000, that was almost entirely me taking from my savings to pay down debt. So, so that is going to be wildly different. So it'll be essentially we only took about half of this. Mm-hmm. Half of this is the normal spending out of savings, and that's okay. And then for investments, I only invested in January's budget. For my investments that aren't included in my employer investments. So I do have what's called a 403B, which is a retirement account through my employer, and I do not track that on here. So this is just my out-of-pocket investments, and that was $514 for the year, or $43 a month. And then rent went up in June from $1,225 to $1,350, which is, it felt like a big jump to us. Let's be real. That means we spent a total of $15,575 this year on rent, or $1,298 a month, which of course is going to go up next year because it's going to be $1,350 until probably June if he raises the rent again next year. And then for legal bills, this one again is a little off because this is $131. We paid significantly more than that, but it came out of my savings. And of course, legal bills he doesn't have anymore right now. Mm-hmm. So It's still going to be on the tracker for next year because he might have to go to court again. But
There's no telling.
there's no telling how much it's going to be or anything. So we're not going to plan for it, I guess. I don't know. But that's $11 a month, essentially. And then for kid bills, which is the kids' copays and insurance costs on Wynn's side, he splits those expenses with the kid's mom. That came out to $3,132 this year, or $261 a month, which is not terrible. Internet, of course, $794 for the year, $66 a month. It's always $66 a month, so like that's normal. But it's interesting to see, like, I can't remember where I heard it, but I read somewhere that it was something like, show me where you spend your money and I'll show you where your priorities lie. It's interesting to see what categories get more money. And then internet. Oh, no, we went through that one already. Collections. That was $716 for the year, or $60 a month. It's currently down to $50 a month, so that's fine. And it's just gonna be that much until it's done being paid, because there's no interest on it. And then heating bill, we have paid $2,120 for the year. That's $177 a month.
Good grief.
Yep, student loans. And this is just what's been cash flowed. I did pay a chunk on the student loans out of savings, but this is just what was cash flowed. Student loans, and this,
$499.
yeah, this is Wynn's payments. $499 for the year, or $42 a month. Things were adjusted a little bit when it came to getting settled in the payment plan. So that's why it was more in the beginning. And then the electric bill, what's that, number 9? That was $1,729 for the year, or $144 a month.
Good grief.
It's better than the heating bill.
Yeah, but barely.
Yeah, well, how often are lights left on, like 24/7?
I've been turning them off more often.
Okay. But yeah, it happens. And of course, like washer and dryer and everything uses electricity.
Stupid refrigerator.
Yeah, and the refrigerator, which has a questionable seal on it, that we've been trying to get the landlord to replace, and crickets, essentially. And then adventure money. This is the kids' allowance, and then what is spent on doing fun activities with them. So that's $436 for the year, or $36 a month. And that only started in May. Having that specific fund started in May.
Good grief.
Yep. And then for miscellaneous, this is Wynn's general spending money. It's been $888 for the year, or $74 a month.
October was a really expensive month.
Yes. But keep in mind, October, the reason why it says magic on the top is because that was a 3-paycheck month. So it's the numbers are a little off because it's 3 paychecks instead of 2. But also you went over budget.
Yeah.
And then we get down to my spending. So the beginning of this was when spending. Investments, though, that is both of us, technically. And then we get down to my spending. So for my monthly bills, came out to $727 a month. I mean, $727 for the year, or $61 a month. His debt got, and this again does not count what I took out of savings to pay down his debt in February.
That's just the cash flow.
Yes, this is just the cash flow. What came out of my actual paychecks. That is $11,586 for the year, or $966 a month. And I'm really trying to keep up this pace because it feels good to make progress, you know?
And the sooner this debt is wiped out, the sooner my debt to income ratio goes up, and the sooner our buying power for home owning goes up, diddly up, up, up.
Yes. We are not huge fans of this apartment. It's a little questionable. So we would like to get a house at some point in our lives before we're like 70. So we need to
slow down in this economy.
I know, right? And children. One moment. And we're back. Sorry about that. It is kind of difficult to try to record with kids here, but we don't have much of a choice right now because we have them for half of winter break. So let's get right back into it. So $966 a month for his debt.
Thank you.
And then dining out was $998 for the year, or $83 a month, which
November cost a lot.
It's not surprising. Yeah, it did.
Good grief.
Yeah, we went out. Like, we actually went out in November. Remember Friendsgiving?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So tasty.
It was very tasty. However, it was also kind of expensive. And then groceries in bulk, $6,186 for the year, or $516 a month. That is hefty. And then health spending was $2,457 for the year, or $205 a month, which tells me that we need to increase our health savings, which we did in our little template. Watch that video if you would like to see how we changed that, how we set that up. And then household shopping was $870 for the year, or $73 a month, which is significantly more than we budget. We increased our budget for that a little bit, not a whole lot. We'll see if we can behave ourselves, essentially. Birthdays, $165 for the year, or $14 a month. I used to save $20 a month for birthdays, but I stopped that. I went down to $10 because Wynn is now saving his own birthday money.
This is the way.
Yep. And then clothing was $558 for the year. That's $47 a month. We have varied a bit, and that is mostly because seasonal changes, essentially. And then shoes, $620 for the year, or $52 a month.
Oof.
Basically what happens is Wynn burns through shoes pretty quickly, and then I occasionally have to replace my shoes as well. So then I have to like raise the amount that particular month so that I can get shoes. Or so that he can get shoes if I already got shoes with the amount that was available. And then for pet care, $405 for the year, or $34 a month.
That's probably the most steady amount out of this whole thing.
Yes. Started saving $40 a month for a pet, and then went down to $30 with this slight blip of $45 in October when we made the last batch of cat food.
Well, also that's a 3 paycheck month, so 15 3 times.
Yeah. Wait, was that when we made cat food? I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then transportation, $1,669 for the year, or $139 a month. A big chunk of that is because there were some blips with with rideshare, and now rideshare is going to be taken out of our personal money instead of in the general transportation, because I really don't like there not being enough to pay for the bus passes or to pay for gas. Those are what really needs to be protected. So,
and also at the end of the day, any occasion where rideshare comes up means personal choices led to that. So it's a personal cost.
Yep. Speaking of which, then we get to personal. My personal spending has been $2,285 for the year, or $190 a month, which is significantly more than what I've been budgeting. This has been like a couple concerts, and what else did I pay for? Was that really it? Was it just the concerts? It was a few concerts, actually.
A few concerts.
Yeah, a few concerts. So yeah, that was that. I don't regret it, but it would have been nice if I had kind of planned it out a little better. So it is what it is. And then Elphaba, which is me matching the kids' savings account contributions. So any money that they put in their savings account, I put in the same amount. That is $59 for the year, because we just started this in December's budget. So $5 a month. But that's only because we just started it. I just started it. So it's going to be really an average of like $20 a month. $40 a month. Starting in January. So that is absolutely fine. And then if you want to take a peek at the savings, it's kind of interesting to see where savings didn't happen and where it did, where you can see where Wynn was making less money, and then during summer vacation, neither one of us saved, so that we could roll money over and bridge the gap. So as you can see, in July in particular, neither one of us brought any paychecks into the budget so that we could be a month ahead. And that is also when most of the rollover happened. So I think it's kind of interesting to look at the year overall and see where we're spending and make it so that our budgets are more realistic. I wanted to show you guys this because I've been tracking this every month. I've been adding to this sheet every month, but I haven't really shown it because
this is the behind the scenes, essentially.
Yeah, it's not really helpful until the year is over, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I do track this every month though. Just when the year's over, it's nice to look back and see where things went wrong, where things went right, where things might need to be adjusted.
And again, if you want to see what we did with the information when we first took our close look a few weeks ago, we did a video on creating a template for the monthly budget moving forward. So just search on our channel for template and you'll find it is very interesting. And it has already been saving us a lot of time.
Yep. If you've noticed, our videos got significantly longer recently, and that's because we've been showing you the whole process essentially instead of just showing you the finished product, which I think is actually more beneficial, even though it does take longer.
Yeah. Before we were doing it sort of Julia Child's style. If you ever saw the show, she'd teach you how to cook a whole meal, but the show's only like 20 or 30 minutes long. So she would just show you a lot of the finished product. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Point is, when we, especially Bo, when we put in regular work each month to keep track of stuff, it gives you a real chance to reflect on how you spend your money, how you make your choices. I love the way you put it earlier. Show me where you spend your money, and I'll show you what is important to you or what you value. Yeah. And my point in looking at all this is it's working. The debt is getting paid down. Bills are getting paid. Savings goals are mostly being met. Budget beats broke.
Every time.
Every time.
And never forget that you deserve financial stability. And I hope you have a great day on purpose. Bye.